guys, welcome to Cinetopical. Nate here, and today, since it's almost the end of the year, which means next year we get new movies, which means we also get a lot of bad movies. So today I'm going to be reacting to positive reviews for 2021 movies that I did not like at all and try to figure out what people see in them. I don't know. But before we get into that, scroll down to the description box below. Pop it open. You'll find links to our social media accounts. You'll also find links to our Ko-fi account and our Patreon account if you would like to help our channel grow in a financial way. So please check all those out. But the first movie that I saw in 2021 that I thought was absolute garbage that we're talking about today is Yes Day. And Paul Burns, who gave it a 3 out of 5, said, "It's rare to see the real world impinging on what is basically a Christian-inflected, highly confected, sub-Disney kind of family flick." And his positive review is very interesting to me because he's not incorrect. In fact, I would say seeing the real world impinging on what is basically a Christian-inflected, highly confected, sub-Disney kind of family flick is a pretty good summation of what this movie is. Now, I guess he was just so impressed that they actually brought some real world aspects into this movie that he is also sort of insulting at the same time, enough to give it a 3 out of 5. To me, that does not even remotely cover it. There are plenty of movies that bring real world aspects into these things. And also, I don't really understand how he's also seeing the real world impinging on this movie, because no parent in their right mind would ever actually do this to the extent that this family took it. And that is absolutely wild to me because it's a really terrible plot and it's really bad acting, and it's not good. It's not good at all. The next movie that I have a review for a movie that I personally did not like, which is I will admit my opinion is a bit of a hot take on this one, but it is The Guilty. And Michael W. gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And he said, "A good movie that I enjoyed watching. Great performance by Jake G and the rest. It was intense. And I was drawn into his situation and felt relieved when he did the right thing. Even though he could have gotten away with it, I would recommend the movie." And my issue with this review is that you are a sucker who fell right into their little trap, their interest trap for what this movie is supposed to be. And, movies, they're supposed to make us feel things. There is a certain level of manipulation that we are intentionally opening ourselves up to when we are choosing to watch a fictional and well-acted story. I think he's right. I think about Jake Gyllenhaal's performance, he did good. I mean, the guy's a great actor. I don't think there's too many people that want to challenge that. My issue with this movie, and maybe it's just because I watch a lot of movies, is that I did not feel drawn into his situation. I felt this movie was incredibly predictable. There was nothing surprising about it to me in the slightest. And I think that I am also just really sick and tired of movies that just go out of their way, not even just go out of the way, that were only written to play and pander to people's feelings about somewhat current events. And I think that there is a place for movies to do things like that, where they can be used in a really, really helpful way to help people process and grow. And then there's also a way where you can take things like that and use them to make a profit and to try to feed off of people's heightened emotions by real world things. And I am just really, really fucking tired of seeing movies about cops that did something shitty and then have to grapple with it. And I also am not super interested, and maybe this isn't fair because they never really go into the details of the shooting that Gyllenhaal's cop character was involved in, so I probably shouldn't assume, but based on what I know about Hollywood and the movies that they normally make, I am going to say that he was very much so in the wrong in the kid that he shot. And I don't really want a movie that is going to go out of its way to try to make me feel empathetic towards a cop that killed someone unlawfully, because that's shitty. I am also relieved that he did the right thing, but I'm really just tired of movies about things like that and not interested. And then finally, the last movie that I absolutely hated that got a positive review is from Whitney Seibold. And he did not, I don't have his actual score The movie is Bad Trip, and he said that gross out pranks reveal something optimistic about humanity. When presented with extreme distress, people tend to reach out and help. And I just want to know how much he got paid to write that review. It must have been good enough for him to sell out and say, hey, you know what? Why not? I don't care about the movie that much. I'll say something halfway decent about it. Gross out humor was really funny in the early 2000s when it was new and none of us were used to it or easily shocked by it. We are not in the early 2000s anymore. Personally, very, very tired of it. And I think things like this just generally exist for shock value alone. Personally, I'm not super interested in anything that exists for shock value alone. And even the weird, weird maybe isn't the right word, but even the little actual plot that they tried to weave through all of these real world pranks was weak. And I'm just kind of tired of people trying to copy Jackass. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. But you should let me know how you feel about it down in the comments section below. Do you agree with me? You can tell me if you disagree with me. I don't care. We'll have a good dialogue about it. Scroll back up, hit the like button, and subscribe.
It's not a game. It's a